Hi guys, it's Rob from Royal Balls. Today we're going to talk about the snake that I received in the shipment from the US that I mentioned when I did my reveal video that had developed an infection. So today we're going to take a look at that snake. If you're watching this video, I can say right up front that because you're watching it, it had a positive outcome and the snake survived. So I'm going to document the treatment. Some of the videos and photos here are pretty unpleasant. The infection was severe and life-threatening. So there's a disclaimer or a warning right up front. The reason that I decided to document this video is because some of you viewers commented that whilst you do have access to vets and can get drugs and treatment, the vets have no specialist reptile expertise, or in some cases you don't have access to a vet at all. So this video is for you. I do document the drugs used, the dosages, the treatment, the protocols, how to inject your snake. So again, heads up guys, that's a warning of what content is in this video. A little bit of background. The snake arrived with all the other snakes on Friday evening on Valentine's Day and immediately went into quarantine. Because all the snakes were showing signs of being active, they'd been in transit for only 36 hours, they were sitting in their quarantine tubs, and I fed them all on Saturday. And I originally noticed with this particular snake that it looked as if it was about to go into shed. It had a slightly opaque eye colour. I noticed that when the snake arrived, but it ate just fine on Saturday. On Sunday morning, less than 36 hours after the snake arrived, one of the eyes had gone completely opaque, completely yellow, and within 12 hours after that the mouth had also swelled up. So it started apparently with an infection in the eye that spread to the mouth. The source of infection may have actually been through the roof of the mouth. The first symptoms were actually in the eye, and it's the eye that took the longest to cure. So that's a little bit of history. It's a bacterial infection which developed extremely quickly, and I booked the snake into a vet. I do have a vet here who does have some reptile experience. So for all you guys out there that do have access to vets, don't hesitate to take your snake to the vet. He knows best. He knows what treatments to use, and he will show you how to treat your snake. So the animal did receive veterinary care, and the dosages and treatment was what was recommended by the vet, and we have had a subsequent follow-up visit to the vets, and also just to thank him for the treatment because it was successful. So this video is for you guys that don't have access to that necessary expertise. You can treat your snake at home. If you have access to drugs and needles, it is possible to treat the snake. So I've documented that process for you guys. So I just thought I'd shoot a video guys of the leopard, lemon blast desert ghost, the snake that's ill. This is now 1 week after it arrived. And you can see it has great body condition. It is still very, very active, but let me see if I can show you where the issue is here. You can see the problem there with the swelling inside the mouth. So at this point in time the snake has received its first antibiotic shot a couple of days ago. It's due another one tomorrow, which I will film administering so that we can look at the animal's recovery. This condition developed just 2 days after the snake arrived. It was fed the next day and it did eat, and this condition developed within 24 hours of him eating. I noticed an issue with the eye, and then 24 hours later the swelling on the mouth also developed, and extracted some pus from inside the abscess on the mouth. and then took him straight to the vets for his injection. You can see that the infection hasn't affected the eye. The eye is completely opaque. It's filled with pus and it's quite swollen, but you can see that the snake is actually still quite active. It's tongue flicking. It is aware, so doesn't seem to be suffering too badly at the moment, so let's hope the antibiotic injections work and we can save this snake. Okay, it's time to give the snake its second antibiotic injection. So I've got everything prepared here that I need. The first thing is to make sure that your hands are sanitized because we are going to be injecting the snake, so we'll use a little hand sanitizer there. I have the antibiotic, which is ready mixed up. There's 10 cc's in a bottle here, which is kept in the fridge between injections. I'll show you that in a moment. We have an alcohol swab for sanitizing. I have a syringe, which was provided by the vet, and this is a 1 cc or 1 ml syringe. And I have 2 needles, and the reason for having 2 needles you'll see in a moment. One I'm going to use to fill the syringe from the bottle, and the other one I'm going to use to actually inject the snake. The syringes themselves, there's a number on the back of the syringe, and this is a 23G. The bigger the number, the finer the needle. So something like a 19G is something that you'd use on a horse. 23G is something that you can use on humans, and I'm going to inject the snake with a 30G, which is the finest needle that they have, very similar to the insulin injections that humans use when they jab themselves in their tummy, and it's a very short needle. It's only ½ an inch long. These are all single use, so they are disposed of after we have injected the snake. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to show you the bottle. And the bottle has a little surgical rubber seal on the top of it, which you actually stick a needle through to fill up your syringe. So we're actually going to sanitize that with the alcohol swab. So I take my syringe, and I'm going to use the larger of the 2 needles. This is the 23G, and the reason that I do that is because it's actually easier to fill the syringe from the antibiotic bottle. So this just pushes on. It's a push fit, like so. We remove the cap, and we push the needle into the cap, through the cap, turn it upside down, and then we can fill the syringe. Make sure that we get the dosage right. Little air bubble in there. Okay, so it's half of one of those graduations. So that much. I change the needle. To the smaller size needle that I'm going to use to inject the snake. Just push that on there. That's the correct dosage, half of one, so 0.05 milliliters, half of one graduation. Okay, so we're going to inject the snake, and we want to inject subcutaneously or intramuscular, in this case subcutaneous. So we're going to choose a point about halfway down the snake's body on either side, avoiding the spine, and we just inject just very gently underneath the skin in this muscular area here. The snake is probably going to feel the needle going in, but it's a very small dosage. So we'll just wipe the area that we're going to inject. Get the needle. Here we go, this is going to be very quick. Just gently under the scales. In under the skin and inject, and that's it, done. Okay, so that's the second injection administered. You can see that snakes like injections about as much as people like injections. They definitely feel it. These are the used needles and syringe and the alcohol swab. I've put the caps back onto the needles, and all of these will be disposed of in your Sharps disposal bin. They're single use, so we need to dispose of those. For the next injection we'll get a fresh lot of everything. So this is the snake after 2 weeks on antibiotics. You can see that he is tongue flicking, he's active. He did eat yesterday after taking his antibiotic shot. You can see there is still a slight swelling around the mouth and the eye. I'm still quite worried about the eye, but otherwise the snake is doing extremely well. The swelling is down, it is eating, and so I think we need to get it through a shed cycle to see how that eye looks after it's shed. So that's the update, guys. That's 2 weeks on antibiotics. So here he is, guys. Finally I'm able to reveal the final snake in the shipment from the USA. This is my leopard Lemon Blast Desert Ghost. That's a pastel pinstripe with leopard. What an awesome pattern this guy has got. And you'll see that the left eye is still not completely clear yet. Just zoom in a little bit so that you can see the left eye is still a little bit cloudy. He hasn't shed yet, but he's eating well. He's gained weight. Obviously the infection is pretty much cured. We just need to wait for him to shed out. So for the first time I'm able to show you this guy, and we can actually get a look at him and look at him for what he actually is. So there he is, guys, the final snake that I was unable to show a month ago. So this is the first time he's been on this channel. And leopard, of course, is something that I do want to get into my clown project. So this guy will immediately go to work making those double het desert ghost clowns. None the worst for wear and almost completely cured. Leopard, lemon blast, desert ghost. Okay guys, without doubt one of the hardest videos that I've ever had to make. Certainly I was documenting this process not knowing if the snake was going to survive, and almost certainly not going to publish the video if the snake did not survive. So the good news is you're watching this video, so the outcome was positive. Snakes have an extraordinary immune system. They can survive some pretty serious infections, as this guy has done. It just shows what can be achieved with proper veterinary care and the correct drugs. This snake was seriously ill. It was life-threatening. The snake could so easily have just stopped eating and curled up and died, but it didn't. It survived. It survived both the infection and the treatment. So the outcome was positive. I hope you guys found that informative. It's certainly a huge relief for me because I was extremely worried. I was devastated on the weekend when we first noticed the infection. I was seriously in doubt about whether the snake would survive, but it did. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.